Hey everyone, welcome back to another video.
Now let's try to understand spiritual stamina by first understanding our physical stamina that we use to navigate in our physical reality. So your physical stamina is something that you use to do your day-to-day activities in your physical life. You need that stamina, that human stamina, to do anything in your life. Whatever you do, you need a certain physical energy, and that energy you can say comes from your food, comes from your sleep. So when it comes to dealing with the truth of life, no matter what aspect of it, you need a spiritual stamina for that. Whether we are talking about shadow work or whether we are talking about not reacting and responding, taking a pause, remaining in your center, all these things are something that have a quality of being grounded in your truth. You can't do these things from the mind. The mind and the body are one. That is why whenever you are doing anything with the physical stamina, you are using the mind in that. And mind is very superficial. It deals with things only on the surface level. And when it comes to dealing with things that go much deeper, you need a spiritual center. And that comes from bringing awareness towards developing your spiritual stamina. Now the spiritual stamina can simply be your higher consciousness. It can be your center, a neutral center in you that is not corrupted by the conditioned mind, by the fearful mind. And whatever you want to do in life, in order to really walk on a path of your spirit, walk on a path of your soul, you need that spiritual stamina. The courage that you need to walk on the path of your spirit, to stay in alignment, can only come from a higher consciousness. It can't come from the logical mind. It can only come from the heart, from something that is beyond the mind. Because the mind is very logical. And one more thing is that whenever you will think about doing the practices or anything that helps you to stay aligned, to stay centered, that won't make sense to your human mind. Your mind will be like, this is boring, this is not giving us anything. Because what you see in this world is the physical reality. You see in the mirror your physical face. You meet with people in their physical forms. Everything looks very physical. But now quantum physics is also telling you that everything is actually energy. What you see as solid is actually just waves, just pure energy. So reality itself becomes like an illusion from that perspective that we live in a holographic universe. The rabbit hole goes much deeper than that. I've just hit the surface here. Definitely if you say to someone that reality is a simulation or an illusion or a holographic reality, that people will think you that you are a nut job. Majority of the things that you think are real are actually unreal. What's real is hidden. What's real, what's true, can't be perceived through the physical senses, through the physical mind. For that you need spiritual stamina. So that's why if you want to go on a deeper level, if you want to explore yourself and discover your light on a deeper level, you have to have a spiritual stamina. You can't explore that dimension through your physical senses. The physical senses can only experience life on the physical level. And there is a great quote that says, lose your human mind to gain your spiritual senses. And all the practices, from my perspective, all the spiritual practices, whether it is meditation, gratitude, or any basic type of practice that helps you to become centered, is about freeing your mind. It's about slowing down your mind, because mind disconnects you from consciousness, your true nature. Mind is existing in time, but consciousness is always here and now. So you will notice that everything that helps you center, calm down, it is actually bringing you in this now moment, because it is helping you connect to that higher consciousness, which is your truth, which is available to you always in the here and now. But you become off-centered. You become too much entangled with everything that the mind is telling you is happening or is true or is very serious, that you always have to think about it. But the moment you become centered in the consciousness, everything becomes kind of like a play. You're able to disidentify yourself also from that. You're also able to see the higher perspective. When you're only seeing from the lens of the mind, it's you versus the world. But you see reality as it is. I will not say from the lens of consciousness, but when you see as consciousness, because you are that. It is not a lens, it is the truth. Then you see the higher perspective, then you see the divine plan, and then you have a higher understanding of life. The thing about shadow work is that you can only have the courage to go into it when you have a spiritual stamina. When you are too much focused only on the positive side of life, you start creating a transcendental identity and you start ignoring all the low vibrational energies that are coming up that have been suppressed, and you act like they don't exist. So first of all, you have to understand that life is good and bad both. You can't live in a fairy tale where you are thinking that only good things will happen to me. Because just look backwards. Majority of the things that happened to you, that gave you wisdom, that made you grow, were negative in nature. It can be your heartbreaks, some trauma. So don't be afraid of the negative side, of the bad part of life. Because the good and bad is only good and bad from the perspective of the mind. The mind creates separation. Because in actuality, everything is just an experience. You are labeling it good and bad experience. Everything is just coming and going. Because of our labeling, we label everything, we categorize everything. So we only want to focus on the good. So a lot of people have this misconception that spirituality is just focusing on the good and ignoring all the bad. That spiritual stamina is about just being high vibrational and conditioning ourselves in such a way that we only focus on the good. But my understanding and my experience is that when you are focusing on your spiritual stamina through carrying out your daily spiritual practices, whether it is meditation, whether it is journaling, whether it is yoga, tantra, whatever you do, whatever helps you to align with yourself. When you are practicing something that is giving you spiritual stamina, it is helping you in a way to connect to the higher consciousness, to transcend this physical mind, physical reality. This is one part. Okay. Now the other part is going into the physical experience. Not denying it, but going really deep within it. What is the most powerful physical experience? It is emotion, energy in motion. So every emotion that comes to you, whether it is sadness, whether it is anger, whether it is guilt, why are you transcending it? Why not go into it? After all, you are a spiritual being having a human experience because you wanted to have a human experience. If you wanted to transcend it, even your emotions, why are you at all here? You are here to live a human life. So when you have every day a spiritual stamina that I am a spiritual being, I am a higher consciousness experiencing a human, then you have the courage to go into the human. Then you have the courage to go into the dark side, the shadow side, the sadness, the guilt. Then you heal. You don't heal by running. No one ever heals from escaping their emotions. That's what we usually do. The human has the tendency, the ego has the tendency of only focusing on the good. No one will say that I want to feel bad today. But it happens. You can't escape that. So spiritual stamina is accepting that bad things will happen and I am ready for it. I'm not just gonna focus on the bright side, the rainbows, the unicorns. I'm also ready for the bad side, for the shadow. I'm ready to face it. I'm ready to accept and transcend it and transmute it, alchemize it. Understand spiritual stamina in this way, that it gives you the courage, it gives you the energy to deal with your human side in a very effective way, and it heals you from your past traumas.
I hope you enjoyed this video. You can like, comment, share. You can also support my work by hitting the thanks button. And please make sure to subscribe. Much love to you all.